Alex Behunin of LowKickMMA. I'm here with Trevor Peek, who makes his UFC debut on February 25th. Trevor, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm really blessed. Just can't complain. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm very happy to be talking with you, man. You are 15 days out. How are you feeling?
I feel good, man. I feel good putting the last few touches on this camp and just ready to go, man. Ready to get in there and let the dog out.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Before we get to your fight, I have a very important question. Why don't you have a nickname?
I don't know. I don't really know. I could never really find one that just stuck. I don't guess. I'm sure people will give me one. I get referred to a dog more than anything, so I'm sure something will come along eventually, man.
I mean, with your last name, there's so many good ones like Trevor Mountain Peak. Like there's all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. I did want to talk about your contender series fight because we didn't get to talk with you after you got your contract because you got transported to the hospital, man. So, firstly, how does it feel to be a UFC fighter?
It's crazy, man. I mean, it's really just a dream come true. I mean, honestly, it's I've worked really hard to get where I'm at, and everything's starting to come together. I'm just ready to, you know, ready to fight.
How did you feel about how did you feel about that fight?
I felt really great leading up to it, and then like I started having dizzy spells about an hour after weigh-ins, and they was off and on for the rest of the day, and then they actually started up again about an hour, about 2 hours after I woke up on fight day. I started having dizzy spells, and I think it was just a small case of like vertigo, and I'm sure like because I hadn't rode a plane a whole lot in my life, so and I mean we didn't have like just a couple of days before the fight, so I didn't really have just a whole lot of time to let my body get acclimated and adjusted for so. But yeah, I'm just I don't know, man. It was a crazy experience for sure. I definitely had some nerves there that I wasn't really prepared for, But I'm ready for this one though.
With with you going through kind of adversity right there with the dizzy spells, man. Like, does that give you even more confidence going into your fight in 2 weeks? Like, man, I got through this stuff. Like now I can get through anything.
Yeah, it definitely was a character builder for me yesterday. I was having conversations with myself in the back. I was like, man, I've been in that cage and not really knowed which corner to go to in between rounds. My head's been so messed up just from getting rocked. But then I would be like, yeah, but they was pretty messed up during that time too. I wasn't getting in there with a fresh guy feeling not 100%. But it definitely let me know that just because things ain't 100% for me mentally, that I can still dig deep and pull out the win. So I definitely that's something I'll keep with me for forever, really.
Awesome, awesome. All right, well, let's talk about it, man. You're fighting Alex White, who's coming off a very long layoff. First of all, how do you train for someone who's coming off such a long layoff? Like, do you go back and watch their old stuff? Do you kind of just freestyle? Like what's the kind of the mindset?
Yeah, I've watched a bunch of his old film. I mean, I've watched quite a bit, and I've actually talked with kind of similar stuff with other gentlemen, and it's just he did some things so well that I feel like he'll still be doing them, you know, and but also with him having that big of a layoff, you can't really just put all your eggs in one basket. You kind of just gotta feel it out, man. And there's a lot of fighters in this world that'll say the same thing, but like sometimes you can have one game plan and get in there, and it's just something you feel in that fight. Like the moment after you get in there, it's like, well, no, I need to do this. Like, I mean, I've had coaches game plan me on certain things for weeks, and then I get in there, and I mean, 10 15 seconds in, I'm like, no, I need to do something a little different right now. So it's just I'll be ready for whatever he comes at me with. But I mean, I'm expecting him to be, more skilled than, even though he had, health concerns and stuff of that nature, and he had, time off. I expect his craft to be even better. I don't know that he'll be stronger and faster than maybe he used to be, but I definitely think his skill level will be better. So I'm going to do my best to, prepare, with what I've got, and then I'll always be open minded for, in case he wants to come out and be a totally different fighter.
A 6 year layoff for Alex Reyes, man. I mean, are you expecting some ring rust, or like are you expecting him to like kind of be a whole different fighter? Like I don't know, it's just that it's such a long layoff to like prepare for someone, you know?
Yeah, I expect there to be ring rust. I think it's individual based. Like he might be one of them guys that just really covered up really well, but it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to have that long of a layoff, and then you're not coming back onto the regional scene. I mean, you're fighting in front of Dana White in Las Vegas. I mean, the fight capital of the world on worldwide television. I just don't know how you're not going to have nerves. You know what I mean? I expect him to have them, and like I said, he might be really good at masking them, covering them up, but I don't know. I'll be able to see it though. I mean, I've got a like a sixth sense about me. I can pick out the nerves, man. Even with the best poker faces, I can feel it.
And he's not coming back to fight some like point fighter or someone who's like a wrestler, right? Like he's fighting you who's you're trying to fucking knock him out, you know? So it's like it's not a very fun fight to come back to, you know?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know how you have that long of a layoff, and then you watch like my highlight reels and not get any nerves.
Yeah, no, it might not be the best idea to come back against Trevor Peek. So what do you think of the matchup itself?
I love the matchup. I mean, I'm excited for it. I believe he was a world champion over at King of the Cage. If I ain't mistaken, at lightweight and welterweight. So he's got a good pedigree, and he's got a good story. I'm excited to meet the guy. He just seems like a sweetheart on his interviews. I mean, I quit watching him honestly, man. I tried watching one of his interviews, and he just had all these great things to say about me, and I was like, nah, we'll hug and shake hands after the fight. You know what I mean? Right now, I can't be liking you, buddy.
That's great, man. Well, I mean, on paper, it's a very fun fight, and so at the end of the day, February 25th, how do you get your hand raised?
Knockout. I mean, I knockout for sure. My submission game has people mistake my ground game, but I mean, just because I haven't really showed anything doesn't mean that it's not there. I mean, I'm training at one of the best jiu-jitsu gyms I feel like in the country, and definitely the southeast. I mean, we're surrounded by killers. I mean, and so I mean, my ground game, and I live at the gym, so I mean, I'm training all day, every day. So I mean, I'm getting the work in, and my ground game is really coming along. I just got awarded my blue belt probably about three or 4 weeks ago, something like that. So
Awesome.
I'm coming along, man. I'm excited for everything, and just I'm ready for the challenge, ready to get in there and get rowdy.
Well, congrats on the blue belt. Just a couple final things for me, man. You got a 100% finish rate. It's what people like to see. Is that 100% finish rate important to you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it is. It is extremely important to me. I mean, I don't care how I get to finish. I don't care, but I want to finish. I talked with a gentleman. I can't remember if it was today or yesterday, but I'd had a decision fight back in 2018, and during that fight in the third round, right before it ended, I kind of was on top of the guy, and I told myself, I was like, I've done enough to win. If I could just finish out on top here, then I'll win. And he reversed me with like 2 seconds left, and we kind of just scrambled from there. But it was in his hometown, and they give the decision to him, man, and that decision lit a fire under me. I've only been to decision, and ironically enough, it was with that same guy, man. Uh, a year later, but you can look up that fight. I definitely wasn't fighting like I wanted the decision. I was trying to take his head off. But ever since that first fight I had with him, I was so disappointed in the way the judges, I guess you could have scored it either way, but man, I felt like I had won, and it lit a fire under me, and I was like, man, I will die before if I can, if I'll do whatever I can to get a finish. So, but yeah, it's super important to me, and it's important to the fans. That's what people love to see. They love to see finishes and wars, and I mean, I'm an entertainer, man, so I want to give the people what they want.
So it's kill or be killed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome. And then finally, man, what do you want your 2023 to look like? Like, what are some goals you're setting for yourself? I believe you fought 4 times last year. Like, are you trying to be active again?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, I would like to get close to, potentially maybe fighting out this contract that I just signed, and hopefully signing a new one. We'll just have to kind of fill things out, see how things go. But I mean, as long as I can fight like I know I can fight, man, the good Lord willing, and I stay healthy and everything, man, I'd like to get close to fighting this contract out before the end of the year.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Trevor, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you have, and if you want to thank anybody, floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm just Facebook's Trevor Peek, and then Instagram's Trevor Peek MMA. Twitter's Trevor Peek MMA, and yeah, I just want to thank all my coaches and teammates. I'm overwhelmingly blessed with just some straight killers, and we're a faith-based gym, and everybody's like a family there, man. I mean, from day one that I walked through Agoge Combatives, I mean, they have just, man, they've treated me like gold, man. And I always want to give credit to Mr. Jeff Powell. I mean, he was the first coach I really ever had, and I've been with him, and man, that dude is he's a genius. I don't know anybody that knows more about fighting than he does, and I'm just so blessed that he took a 1-2 amateur guy, and put him on I think like a 10 or 11 fight win streak, and just helped me out so much, man. And then just thank all my family and friends, and yeah, just thank God, man. I mean, we wouldn't be having this conversation now if it wasn't for the good Lord. I mean, he's just took care of me and watched my back, and even when I was stubborn and stupid, and he's been with me through so much, and even when I'm undeserving, I'm always undeserving, but man, he sure does pull me through. And thank Roby Sports and Entertainment, my manager Steve Swedish over there. He's just man, my life it's so much better with Steve in it. Everything's I ain't got to hardly do anything. He takes care of everything for me, man, and it's just
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.